Hi, I'm Daniel and this is Ashville Weekly, episode 35. This week we have one train but a mountain of material to move. I have a full day of meetings in the city. We hope to have the bifolds in at Castle Shallalambus, and we're trialling, not signposting the days in this week's episode. In one take! I told you I'd get it in one take! Step into my office. Cracks appearing. It can loosen it up. I'm gonna hold you over a barrel.
Yeah, I'll get in the back there.
It was a deep dish. I was a bit intrigued, I'm not gonna lie. And you have to be careful when you're doing it. Gots to firm it. Buckets of sweat coming off me. It's gotta be up.
I basically couldn't walk properly.
I don't like, but we have to suck it up sometimes.
Can't be mad at him for that.
It's just about pushing, but we'll see how that works out for me. Let's take it all out. Come inside, come inside, come inside. Today is not a day to be playing dress up. Bam! I suppose we can start. Is this on? Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Are you rolling? Oh, okay. So you were rolling already? Without asking. You're just rolling?
Just roll.
What, in case?
Just in case.
Just in case that happens.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We are at Castle Shallalambus. For the first time in a long time, I've taken off my jumper. And makes it slightly easier to get my high vis on. Gonna see how we're getting here. Gonna see how we're getting on here. I'm not getting here, I'm still half asleep. Is that mic position all right for you? I know you like to complain about stuff like that. Is that all right, yeah? Nice. I'm at a crossroad. Had this van for a number of years. Actually remember going to buy it. It's a special one. It's an extra long wheelbase. It can fit 6 people in it, and you've got 3 meters in the back. This is a Euro 5, which means this is going to be costing a lot of money to go into London. It's got over 100,000 miles on the clock, and I always kept fixing it because we had it. You know when you know where it's been, you know that you've been servicing it, you know that you've only taken it to Volkswagen, so I kept fixing it and fixing it and fixing it. It's come to a point now with this ultra low emission zones where it's really no longer affordable to keep fixing this and then paying for this to go into London on a daily basis. Now I was researching how much one of these is brand new. Now I thought I paid a lot of money for this before. Do you know how much it costs for a van these days? I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I think the old girl might have to be put out to pasture and something new might have to come along. But then again, I have to consider if we're still going to use this, because on a building site, there are bits and pieces what you need on a daily basis. Everybody says, plan your materials at the beginning of the week. Well, in actual fact, it doesn't work like that. You can plan your large materials like a delivery of concrete blocks, bags of sand, MDF plasterboard, stuff like that. But when you're trying to push a job along forward, things happen on a daily basis. You need to adapt and evolve. And it's the most efficient way to quickly shoot to the builders merchants, get what you need, come back and get something finished so you can move on to something else and you can continually resequence. I need to think about whether we're still going to use vans like this and keep one driver on the road running between all the building sites. I'm not quite procrastinating, I'm deliberating. At the front of the house, you saw us building up these pillars in previous episodes and supporting the wall above. Well, now we've built up the pillars a little bit more and we've rented this equipment to lift the steel in place. Now the steel is in place, we're going to continue to build up this wall and then the steel will sit on a pad stone either side. In Yianni's area, I am happy to see that the bifolds are now in. We're just doing a bit of measuring up because we're going to begin to board these walls using dot and dab. I'm very interested and I'm thinking about how we're going to finish up to these bifolds. Without speaking to Dudek, I assume we're going to come to this point here, we're going to have an angle bead here, and we're going to finish as flushly close to the bifolds as possible, obviously without getting plaster and dirt all over them. Ordinarily, I would go around to the other side, talk about that room, and then go into the garden, but I'm not going to do that today because I want to enjoy these lovely bifolds. Now, I love that. Once we've built up the area out here and we're finishing more or less flush, Once we finish out here and we have paving and we finish up to the threshold of these bifolds, it's a lovely way to bring the outside in or the inside out, however you look at it. But I do love a set of bifolds. A lot of other people talk about sliding doors. They prefer the sliding doors, but me personally, stacking one way outside, perfect. This is the world's best shed. I'm considering moving into this. Stay with me for the build up of this, right? So on the block work, we have this plaster prime. It's kind of like a outdoor PVA. And on top of that, we have the base layer of the K-Rend with the mesh here. And then we have a top coat of K-Rend as well. You would never think that this is just a shed where people are getting changed. It has waterproofing capabilities and also is slightly flexible. In the past, we've just used sand and cement to render on walls like this, and then you see cracks appearing because of movement and stuff like that. When we do it like this, we don't get any cracks. At the end of the retaining wall for the flower bed and the retaining wall to stop everything collapsing, we have the plant area for the swimming pool. Now, at this point, we can see the base coat of the K-Rend starts. But if you have a look on the other side of the wall, you can see the difference in color, because on the back side of the wall, we have used sand and cement, and that is finished. I was gonna go through this way, but the boys have covered up all the bifolds. We're protecting them from dust and debris. So I think we're gonna have to go back round again. Apologies for the noise, this is a building site. On this wall, we have put all the plasterboard on with dot and dab, and we are moving our way around the walls. In this area, what you'll see in a second, the suspended ceiling is almost done. Once we're finished with that, we'll make our way over here, and I am told the fireplace, what's going in that cutout there, will be here next week. You can see the suspended ceiling here, got fantastic height, and you've got so many different services in here. You've got electrical, we've got data, we've got ventilation, we've got copper pipe work. I think that's about it. Guys, tell me in the comments below if you think I've missed out anything what is in the ceiling voids here. In this room, as Yianni's bed is now in here, we are closing this up. So we have the original window that was here, which we have saved, which is covered by Corex, and we're just building up the engineering bricks here, and then we're gonna slot this window back in. So this building is near enough with the bifolds in, and now this window going in is near enough watertight. This bathroom is a labor of love with the amount of niches which are going in here, and no tile edges allowed, and all the tiles being mitered. It does take a mighty long time, and you have to be careful when you're doing it. You don't want to rush. If you crack a tile, then the whole tile is gone, but it is going really well, and when it finishes, it's going to look fantastic. One of them things, you go into the room and you can say, oh my God, this is a really nice room, and you're not going to realize why it's a nice room, is because of the way the tiling has been done. But like I said, it's a labor of love. It's not something that you can accelerate. It's all hands on deck at the moment. It's actually half term now, so a lot of the boys are off. So there's less staff here than there was previously, but we're working outside, we're working inside. The ground floor was slightly behind, but the first fix of electrical and plumbing is done. Yianni and Steph have chosen their colors, so there's going to be a lot of wallpaper in this house. We need to finish boarding on the ground floor, get those ceilings in place, but we're just waiting on some of the AV guys to let us know about a bit more cables that have to be in the wall. Once we have the walls done in the garden, we're going to start to bring in type 1 so we can start to spread that everywhere and start to get some paving down, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. On the upper floors, there's a lot of base coats on, and we just need to start the second fix in places. The tiling is moving along nicely, but a lot of the tilers are not here this week, so that will slow us down in that area, but hopefully we can catch up with that next week. Time is pushing on, got to leave the site. Before I do, I've realized this back box is in place. We are going to do a separate video on this. This house is going to be completely automated, so we're going to have a control for system from top to bottom, controlling all the electronic appliances in this house. That's everything from your TVs, from your Blu-ray players, from your projectors, to your lights, to your underfloor heating. Absolutely everything will be controlled at the touch of a button. So guys, stay tuned for that video. It's very hot down here in the city of London. Today is not a day to be playing dress up. Obviously got the Ashville polo on today, but I've got that different kind of perforated material, which is slightly cooler, because the fully cotton one would have had buckets of sweat coming off me. Back-to-back meetings. It's just about pushing Ashville forward to the place where it needs to be and getting a load of compliance paperwork. Sometimes it's a bit slow, sometimes it's a bit tedious, and sometimes you're repeating yourself, but it is necessary. So I'm going to try now to get back to the yard, but I'm not sure how the traffic will be. It's half term, so it may be all right.
A lot of people, I think, maybe I wasn't clear, I apologise, or some people have misunderstood, and they think Ashville Weekly's coming out every 2 weeks. No, Ashville Weekly is still coming out every week, but what it is, we had a 1 week break, so now every week Ashville Weekly is behind, so it's 1 week behind. And a lot of you watching my deadlift, my mistake when I said 300 ton, look guys, I think I'm a superhero, but I'm not deadlifting 300 ton. I'm going to level with you. I had a number of back problems. I had 2 slip discs, my L4 and L5. I basically couldn't walk properly for about 9 months. That was like 3 years ago. And I've managed to make a full recovery. And it was a long process. I couldn't straighten my back for like 4 or 5 months of that. And it took a lot of stretching and a lot of hanging. I have a bar in my house where I hang upside down to take out the compression in my spine, and I had to stretch every muscle in my entire body. I did train earlier today. I trained legs, and I got a problem with my knees. Before I stopped training, I could warm my knees up, warm them up, and then after some movement, my knees would like kind of lubricate, but my knees aren't lubing up anymore, no matter how much I warm up. So instead of doing squats at the moment, I've gone back to doing leg press. When I'm doing leg press, because I can't rack the weight on as much as I want to do in leg press because of the pressure on my knees, as I just said a minute ago, I'm actually doing something called the 300. Yes, Yiannis and the Spartan Warriors. I'm doing 6 sets of 50. So on the first leg press, 6 sets of 50 until we get up to 300 reps, and then you move across and do like a different hack squat and leg extension and 2 hamstring exercises, and finally calf. So for all of you who say that I skip leg day, I do not skip leg day. I just have skinny ankles, which I can do nothing about. Just saw an email come through. We're meant to have 1 train this week, just 1, and that train was cancelled. There has been a loading problem today, which means we will not get the train on Tuesday. Very disappointing when you've only got 1 and that's cancelled. That means 100% of your trains have been cancelled. And finally, guys, looking to expand the video team again. Yes, we're always trying to step it up. We're going to be looking for experienced videographers. Yes, Will has come on full time, but we still want to take on more because we want to produce those 2 videos a week and those great standalone videos that I keep talking about. I always like to have things around to give me something to aim for. I have had this on every desk I've ever had for years. This is the Ashville private jet, and here is the Ashville Maybach, even though Maybachs are, oh no, okay, well, let's ignore the grill. This is the Ashville Maybach. These are the sort of things that I have on my desk and I have around to inspire me and keep reminding me what I'm trying to do. See there, the driver can open the door, then he can get out, and then he can let me in. Like, here I am. Yeah, I'll get in the back there. But I believe that this is old school now. I believe everyone, I don't even think there's a Maybach anymore. It's a Mercedes Maybach. So yeah, we've changed how that's done. So maybe I need to get one of those for my desk. And there was also a Bugatti here somewhere, but I think one of my godchildren came round and he destroyed it. Can't be mad at him for that. When I said to my mum that he destroyed my Bugatti, my mum said, leave him, he's expressing himself. So next time I'm going to bring my godchildren to my mum's house and let them express themselves at my mum's house and destroy her things.
Wilson was gassing this morning, that is now a full-time employee.
Yeah, say that again, Tezza. Step into my office. Step into my office. What happened? Will was gassing this morning.
Will come in this morning, gassing on us all, said he's now a full-time employee that we all need to fix up.
Will's shaking his head like that, saying no. He's back to doing the Churchill dog thing with his head going in.
This morning, he said, you better watch yourself. I said, all right.
Is that what he said, yeah?
All right, sorry.
So Will, after us sticking up for Will and people trying it with Will at college and people trying it with me, Will comes here and the first thing he does is bully Terry. Terry, what I need you to do is I need you to write an account of this and put this forward to your HR manager, which is me. Right. Yeah, and then I'm gonna conduct the necessary interviews to see the relevant guilty parties and the disciplinary action which Will could face for such things. Are you all right though?
On this first, I'll be all right. I'll make it through the day.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the point where Terry says because of what happened with Will, he needs to go fishing. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. It hasn't come yet, but
because of the mental stress.
The mental stress of Will trying it with him. But don't worry, Terry, I've got you. And Scania are here, people. What's Scania doing here?
Fuel cap.
Fuel caps.
Mysteriously, fuel caps keep going.
The fuel cap. That's another thing in the Ashville, and nobody knows what happened, Dan. In this yard, you come in the morning, and every day a driver has lost a fuel cap. Now, ordinarily, I'd like to say someone else is going to buy it, like you lot, you keep doing it, but really and truly, I don't want to not have a fuel cap on. Firstly, because it's illegal, and if they go out on the road, it's a PG9, the lorry will get parked up. And secondly, without a fuel cap, you never know what could go inside the tank and contaminate the diesel and then damage the engine and the entire system. So it's one of those things that I don't like, but we have to suck it up sometimes. So we buy 4 or 5 at a time. Scania have luckily come here, and while I'm standing here, you can see how sunny it is and the fact we have to put the sprinkler on to keep this area wet just to suppress the dust a little bit. But we can't put too much water, because if we put too much water, then the yard gets messy. The sweeper is back in full effect. We have not taken out the dent at the back, but we have a new, and the mirror has been sorted out as well. This is ready to go back out on the road and get cleaning. Bit of a misconception. On the video where we showed the sweeper restoration, click here to watch that video. A lot of people were saying, why am I sweeping the road when it's wet? I need to wait till the road is dry. That's not entirely true, guys. If you have like thick mud on a road that's built up over a couple of days, when it rains, it sometimes loosens it up for you. It can loosen it up, and then when you go over with the sweeper, it's easier to pick it up. I understand the logic behind driving on a dry road. Sometimes it works well when you go over it in water as well, so don't jump on it every time.
What's he doing in the sweeper? He don't know what he's doing. It's raining and he's out in the sweeper.
It still cleans the road, especially a new bad boy sweeper like this. There's plenty of feathers and stuff going around the yard. I wonder if maybe Cam and Terry had a pillow fight in here before I got... Oh, it's called Mayfluff down here. Hello, Mike.
Settles on top of the water and you go fishing and it gets caught around the line.
We have Terry Attenborough here, BBC World, no swearing. Shame we're not going fishing, but Cam and Terry did not have a pillow fight. What's it called, Terry?
Mayfluff.
Mayfluff. It is Mayfluff, and Terry knows that from his extensive research and surveying of fishing rivers all over the country. Isn't that right, Terry?
Watercraft.
It's called watercraft. Oh, Jesus, man. Watercraft, yeah. We missed it, but there was a problem here with a hose on this. Just out of the blue, a hose went, and it is the hose for this lock. So if you have a look at the back there, you can see 2 hoses. The one on the left with the red line on it, that runs all the way through the body of the sweeper, goes underneath, and then comes out here. Now, changing that isn't ordinarily a problem, but because the sweeper is so low to the ground, we had to disconnect the hoover on that side, pull the hoover out just to get underneath to change it. But it's been changed now, but it was a big song and dance. We're shaking the steering on the lorry. I'm here, Noel's underneath. You ready?
Yeah, man.
Oh, well, let's turn the wipers off, shall we? Oh.
Caution, truck.
Handbrake.
Handbrake off.
Handbrake off.
Foot brake.
Foot brake on.
Okay, off.
Foot brake off.
Lovely handbrake.
Handbrake on. A bit dusty under there.
Right, sweet.
All good?
Yeah.
Had the delivery come. I saw something online. Now, you know I love a pair of Nike Air Force Ones. Very basic, old school, but very nice in black or white, or a luminous high vis, as you've seen me wear multiple times. But have a look at this, yeah? Move to Zero is Nike's journey towards zero carbon and zero waste to help protect the future of sport. I was a bit intrigued, I'm not gonna lie. So I've ordered myself a pair of recycled Air Force Ones. Now guys, when I saw these online, it didn't do it justice. Now it's in front of me here, like, this, it must be about the quarter of a weight of a normal Air Force One, and it feels like the sole is from polystyrene and the rest of the shoe is from recycled material. Very breathable. No, I haven't got an endorsement from Nike. No, Nike aren't paying me, unfortunately, but I'm hoping to be a Nike athlete one day, a bit like Michael Jordan, LeBron James and Ronaldo, but we'll see how that works out for me. But I had to share it with you guys because I really like it. If we're trying to reduce our carbon footprint with the Euro 6 lorries and recycle as much as we can, to go for some recycled trainers as well, I thought was pretty cool. And they've even got this logo inside, this recycling logo. And the inner sole is green. So Nike are really taking this serious. It's better than rain.
It's much better.
Is it cool in there? It's all right, yeah? That's because you have a great boss that put air conditioning in the lorries, Dimitri. That's why. A great boss that put full air conditioning in the new lorries. Dimitri's come in, loaded Type 1 for tomorrow morning. The train that I told you about earlier in the week, which was cancelled, we thought that we would get another train to compensate for that train. Nope. We are not getting another train in, unfortunately. So the stock is going down rather quickly. You know, when you watch the videos and you see the amount of stock in here, a lot of time you think, why have they got so much stock? They don't need so much. When we don't get trains in here, the stock disappears rapidly. It's not as much stock as you think it is. The yard is not very deep. So all the material you see here, when we don't have a train for a week, by the end of the week and next week with no trains, half the material in this yard will be gone. There'll be plenty more space and the yard will look a lot nicer, but we never want to run that low on material. I just had a conversation on the phone with someone, another instance of somebody calling me a madman. They said, bro, like, you're mad. They're like, what are you doing this and doing that? And they're obviously talking about business and some of the risks that I take. Unfortunately for me, I just don't know how to take it easy, and everything's got to be, it's got to be up. It's got to be going up. So sometimes I'm seen to take, not seen to, I do take risks that some other companies might not take. A lot of the other companies might not take those risks because they don't need to take that risk, and they may already be where they want to be. As I said, people often call me a madman. They say,
What are you doing? You're doing crazy things.
and some of the risks I take, they don't pay off. I'll give you an example, and for the first time in a long time, this is Ashville Storytime. Come inside, come inside, come inside, come inside, come inside. It's about 3 years ago. We weren't in this yard. We were at a yard in Langley. And I was in the yard on a Sunday, as I do. A call came through, and I used to have the landline diverted to my mobile out of hours. I had to stop all that. I cannot do that anymore. And if you did get me on the phone, I'd probably make a funny voice like, hello, yes, Terry. It's not Daniel. The phone rings on a Sunday. I'm in the yard. I'm doing a bit of greasing. We were busy on Saturday, so we weren't able to grease. And a call comes in from a new client. Now, this client, I've been trying to work with this client for a while, and they're stuck. They're stuck on a Sunday. They're doing a bit of work, and they have asked me for a skip. They said, look, we're desperate. We need an 8-yard skip. I said, no problem. I'll be there tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll be there. They said, no, we need the skip now. We're doing work. And I said, all right, if I come out now, will you use us moving forward? They went, look, you're getting me out of stock. I'll do anything. I'll pay double. I said, look, I'm not going to stitch you up. I'm not going to hold you over a barrel. I'm going to do it for the normal price, but I need you to remember this and start using us moving forward. Now, me, I'm a man. I'll drive a Grab. I'll drive a tipper. I'll drive an Arctic. I don't want to drive a skip lorry. I just don't, because I don't want to go out and do skips, because I always manage to do a madness when I'm in a skip. So anyway, I'm in the yard. I finished greasing the lorry, and it's our 07 lorry, the one that we put the new engine in. So I put an 8-yard skip on the back of it. It's taken me about 20 minutes because I never use a skip lorry. I've made my way out the yard in Langley, and I've driven to the job. And I thought to myself, do you know what? This is one of them things. In 10 years, you think to yourself, yeah, I won that contract. And then when I won that contract, then I met their friends, and then I met their friends. And in my head, I'm piecing together this entire tree of work that we're going to get, and it's going to be madness, and we're just going to do so well out of it. And me and the client, we're going to become great friends. I'm going to take them out. We're going to go QPR. There's so many things going on in my head. Mind you, what I'm saying in my head has never happened ever before. So why I thought it would happen, I don't know. I pull up outside front. They're very happy to see me. Thank you so much. We're going to start using you. We meant to use you for a while. They say, drop the skip round the back. So I go around the back. Everything's fine. And they show me this small alleyway with a wall kind of dividing it. And they say, drop the skip in there. Now already I start busting sweat, because I already know I'm not good with moving this skip round. So I'm sweating at this point, like the sweat is pouring from my brow. But you know, you got to firm it. You got to firm it. You can't let them see that you're scared. Yeah, no problem. So I reverse around the back, and I begin to take off this 8-yard skip. So I'm trying to maneuver this skip, and the skip starts coming off lopsided. And I said, oh my gosh. I said, focus, Daniel. All now I'm wiping the sweat out of my eyes. My eyes are stinging because there's mad salt in my sweat. And I'm trying to arrange this. Now, I start to talk about things to try to take my mind off it, to try to talk to them, and they're talking to me. They're very thankful. And I'm putting the skip down, and I managed to sort it out, and I'm putting in the skip sideways. All is well. I take my eye off it for 1 second, and bam! Over goes their brick wall of the new client who I wanted to win the work from, and I wanted to be really busy with them, and I was helping them out on a Sunday, and I wasn't charging them more money, and we're gonna develop this great relationship. And I knock over the wall outside. So the first thing I say is, obviously this skip is gonna be free. And then people start tutting, mumbling under their breath.
That's why we didn't use them.
And then he said,
Do you know what, mate? Just wait. We'll load the skip now and you can take it back with you.
and as they say, at that point, Daniel knew that he messed up. They filled the skip there and then. They put all hands on deck because they wanted me out of there that badly and never wanted to see or hear of me again. So they loaded the skip, and then we had another problem. I then had to load that skip back on the lorry. And in the beginning, the skip was heavy, and I forgot to put my legs down. Yes, I admit it, I forgot to put my legs down. And the skip lorry started lifting up at the front. I said, oh, Jesus. You know, you want the ground to just swallow you. But the ground wouldn't swallow me. It wouldn't do me any favors. You know, you wish it would rain so everybody would go inside because they don't want their head to get wet. No, sunny day, middle of summer, Sunday afternoon, everyone's eating Sunday roast, and I'm breaking down brick walls and having to take a skip and not charging for it like an idiot. But then I take it, I say goodbye to everyone. Everyone says, you know when they say goodbye, but they're not looking at you and they're walking off. And I go to drive back to the yard, accident on the M4, 3 hours to get back to the yard. And I got back in the yard when it was dark, and they never called again, and they got the skip for free. And the moral of the story is sometimes the risks that Daniel take and going no matter what don't pay off. But unfortunately, I don't learn my lesson. So I'm still a man taking risks. I'm still a man who's giving it a go, but no matter what, I ain't going delivering no skips. I'm not going to deliver a skip. I don't care. You could spend, I don't know what money you could spend here. I don't know what promises you can make me. You could change my life. You could pay me in gold bars. I ain't dropping you a skip. I'll wait till one of the drivers in who's comfortable with the skip lorry. Not telling you to do it, but me personally, I will take risks and I will throw everything in it but the kitchen sink, and I will put my all into everything because I don't know any other way. And that goes from the time I open my eyes in the morning to the time that I close my eyes at night, daily. But now I'm trying to look after my health a little bit and make sure that I do get some sleep. And hopefully with some of the changes that are going on at Ashville, it means that I will get some shut-eye and I will be able to enjoy some of what's going on. Not that I don't enjoy it on a daily basis, but to enjoy the fruits of this. And that's kind of like burnt me. My heart's kind of beating fast thinking about the way that wall went down and that. It was a deep dish, a deep dish. That story with the skip has reminded me of another time when Daniel knew that he messed up. We ain't done it in a while, but here we go. Ashville Storytime Part 2. Come inside, come inside, come inside, come inside. The very first grab I got, when I got it, I used to go out myself in that grab, and that grab is LT59NNV. Never forget the number plate. It's got a speaker system in it. I talk about that lorry in depth in the Ashville Fleet Tour. Click here to watch that video. Now, when I had that lorry, I used to go out and do all the work myself, and I needed the practice as well. This guy, sounded like a nice guy, called up and he said he wanted a load of muck taken from his house. So I'm outside his house, on the grab, taking a load of muck. There. We're going. And he starts to talk to me. When this man's talking to me, I kind of lose concentration. I take my hands off the control, and he talks, and I go to say something else. Now, I put my hands back on the control, and I look, and that grab used to have a leg which used to drop. So when your legs were down, the leg would drop. I realized the leg had dropped on one side. So I went to pull my lever to put my leg down. Now I've gone and put my hand on the wrong lever, and I've slewed the crane round and smashed off all the fence outside the man's house. It was at that point that Daniel knew that he messed up. And as I looked at this man's brand new fence and fence posts, the fence was so new that the post had just come out the ground and the rapid set concrete weren't even dry yet, and I knocked over the whole fence. At that point, I leaned over again, like I did with the skip, and I said, that load's for free, mate. I'll pay for your fence, whatever it's gonna cost. And at that point, it's also the embarrassment you feel, like you get this hot feeling in your stomach. But at this point, you know they say when you get adrenaline, it's fight or flight. Well, there's nothing there. It's just pure embarrassment, and you have to fix the problem, what you created. And then your phone is ringing in your pocket as well, and it's just mad anxiety, mad pressure. I asked the gentleman what it would cost to put his fence back in order. He told me a very cheap price. He said 500 quid. Before I went the next time, I transferred him 500 quid plus that. I know his fence was a lot more than that, but I think he took some pity on me, and he still uses us today, and he's been using us ever since. 2 Ashville story times in one day. This is the journey of Ashville and the madness that your boy has been doing and has been on. Yes. I've got plenty more stories, guys. Tell me if you want to see more Ashville story time. Let me know in the comments below. I do have some stories where I didn't mess things up. I do have some good stories where I did good things. 1 or 2 of them. Just going for a delivery that's come in here. You see, for a little while, a lot of you have been asking about merch. Now, I have been working on the merch, but guys, I keep saying the merch needs to be as I want it to be. It has to be something I would wear. We've spoken to a lot of companies about producing the merch, but I've never felt that the standard or quality or the design of the garments was good enough. So guys, I'm reaching out. If any of you specialize in that field, and please don't contact us if your stuff's no good, because I'm going to go through it. Like, you will get caught out. Like, I will pull your card. So it's really important to me, and it's something that I spend time on and I will wear myself. So I'm reaching out to companies that do merch. Don't put anyone forward if you're just recommending someone that someone else uses. It's got to be you who's doing it. It's got to be your company. Holler at me. But in the meantime, we are working on other things. I have my first draft of the Ashville coffee or tea mug. Decent opportunity. This is meant to be a digger arm and bucket. This is how the A will be. Yellow on the inside, black outside. It's a good start, but I don't like this area here. This needs to be hollow. The bucket needs to be a different color. Arm needs to stand out a bit. And then perhaps we'll have the A in a different way. This is a good start. That's it for the mugs. This is a soft toy. So kids use this, or people can even use it as a pillow, or it's just something to drop on the sofa as a cushion. Now, we are having Ashville ones made of these. So this is just a sample to show me the quality. I believe we have the artwork, which we can show you here. Dan will show the artwork here. I'm loving these soft toys. We're gonna start with tippers and an L860, guys. So holler at us for that. Adults, kids, it should suit absolutely everyone. And finally, my favorite. Have a look at this. This is a Ashville set, digger, loading shovel, and a tipper. Now, I'm going through these one by one, and I've had some comments for the manufacturer. Let's take it all out. I need to see and feel everything that we are going to sell. Right, here is our digger. Straight away, for me, the digger is a little bit flimsy. The tracks are rubbery and the track has already slipped off here. Now, I can't in good conscience sell this. It's no disrespect to the manufacturer. We just need something which is much better quality. It's far too plastic. It does have all the movement, but you know, I have a lot of godchildren and I still have these toys on my desk. For me, this just isn't good enough quality, but we can go back to the drawing board and we can step it up 1 or 2 levels. Now, it does increase the price, but you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Going back, looking at the loading shovel. For me, the loading shovel's cool and it's the best of the bunch. Feels very robust. Everything stays in the air, bucket, mechanism, but this is the same range. So we'll have to up the entire range so they're all a little bit more sturdy. Finally, the tipper. For me, the tipper needs to be more robust. The tipper needs to be a lot stronger than this. Again, no disrespect to the manufacturer, but we're gonna go back to the drawing board on these because we are definitely doing some Ashville toys and it's gonna be a set, but we're just gonna need to up the quality of these. Guys, let us know in the comments how you feel about the Ashville toys which are coming out. And remember, they're not only just for kids, they're for adults as well. These can be like little collectors. Right, so let's wait for the next batch and have a look at those. That's it for Ashville Weekly episode 35. At the Yianni House villa, the bifolds are in and we enter into what he believes is the last month of build work. We still don't have any clothes, but it looks like we will have some quality products in store soon. And Ashville Storytime is back at the cost of me admitting that I cannot operate a skip lorry. It is what it is.
this is that's going forward. We'll
Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
Click here to see a video where I left a skip on a London street to see how people would act, and click here for last week's episode, which was number 34, the accountant and Tezza, working out them figures.
This is
not quite the figures we need to be working out.